So apparently some of y'all out there think that the Galaxy Note 10 and 10 Plus are the most disappointing notes that have come out in a very long time, maybe even ever. And you're not even interested in getting the phone. Well, I kind of been telling you that for a while now. But you know what? In thinking about some of it, I don't agree with all of the reasons why. I'll tell you why. Right after this!
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. Now, the Note 10 and the Note 10 Pro have both been announced. And some of you have either pre-ordered, like myself, and some of you have not. Actually, based on my comments, most of you have not. And while I've been saying for weeks that, yes, it's gonna be the best Note, but it's probably not gonna be good enough for you, for a while, I was actually a little bit surprised by kind of the overall internet kind of meh attitude towards it. Quite frankly, I actually thought that the presentation that they gave was pretty good. I've talked about how excited I was for the Microsoft kind of partnership. You can watch a video about that here, maybe on the end screen or whatever. So I think that's actually one of the bigger things that came out of it. And yes, they actually didn't talk a whole bunch about the specs on the Note because for the most part, it's basically an S10 with, you know, a pen and some other kind of cooler things on the screen and whatever. So yeah, it's basically that. Now, this has been a mistake they've been making for years. I've been saying they need to go back to when the Note was like really completely different with a better processor, better camera, like everything was different. But it almost seems like Samsung's getting a little bit lazy in that department. So you shouldn't be surprised. Having said that, it's still gonna be a phenomenal phone. I'm actually looking forward to it. Again, I will repeat what I've said in past videos, that while I've always had a Note, ever since the Note 2, like I've had every single one, this was going to be the year where I was actually going to pass. I actually wasn't going to get a Note 10. And really the only reason that I got a Note 10 is, a Note 10 Plus specifically, is for this channel, because I have a tech channel. Otherwise I would stay with my OnePlus 7 Pro. But for you guys, you get the benefit. You get to see my hands on and everything else. Plus I'll compare it against the OnePlus 7 Pro to see if you were missing out on anything. I had some people in the comments say they were actually either going to the OnePlus 7 Pro or they have the OnePlus 7 Pro and wanted to know if going to a Note 10 or Note 10 Plus actually made any kind of sense. But some of the complaints I've seen, I feel like are not the relevant complaints. I've seen a bunch of different things that people have said, and while some of them I agree with, some of them, come on, man. Let's start with the resolution of the Note 10. Now, first of all, don't get the Note 10. Just don't get the Note 10. Some people will say, well, they don't want the bigger size of the Note 10 Plus, but the reality is the Notes have always been bigger than the other phones anyway, so for me, the whole Note 10 thing versus Note 10 Plus, the Note 10 is just not, it's not a thing for me. It doesn't exist. But let's pretend for a second that that's the phone that you wanted to get, but you're complaining about the 1080p screen. Now, there are two sides to this argument. Let me take most people's side and say, Samsung, you done messed up. Samsung for years have placed their flagship on a different level of resolution on their phones. Like it's always been Quad HD or 1440p or whatever the hell you want to call it, doesn't really matter. It's always been higher than 1080p, at least since, man, was it like the Note 4 or something that was 1080p? And back then 1080p was like amazing. Stepping back is a slap in the face for a $950 phone. That is straight garbage. Having said that, 9 out of 10 people that have an S9 or S10 or Note 9 or whatever are running in 1080p. By default, your phone runs in 1080p because as soon as you raise it, your battery takes a crap. And let's be clear, I've run it in both modes. You basically can't see the difference, except for in the battery use when your battery doesn't last you all day. So what mode are you gonna keep it in? So yeah, Samsung, you wrong, shouldn't have taken that away. But everyone else, settle down. Next is the headphone jack. Everyone's upset about the headphone jack. Headphone jack's been removed. I got some news for you. Get used to it. Now, everyone made fun of Apple when they took away the headphone jack, but that was the beginning of the end for the headphone jack, period, end of story. Galaxy's been holding on to the headphone jack all the way up until the S10, and now we are here in the Note 10 where we don't have a headphone jack, and the Fold won't either. And I just want to tell you guys something. If you have a problem with phones not having a headphone jack, you need to keep the phone you're on right now, because pretty much starting right now and forward, you have a real hard time finding a phone with a headphone jack. So this complaint, in my estimation, is really pointless. The headphone jack is going away, period, end of story. Apple has done it, and now that Samsung has done it, that basically is giving permission to all other manufacturers to stop putting in the jack. It's not anything that most people are using, and even if it is something you're using, I'm just telling you right now, it's going away. Now, you can say Samsung messed up and you're upset about it and all these other things, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. You better go ahead and adjust. Get rid of them, throw those little pods away or whatever you got. It comes with a dongle. If you really wanna have a dongle, you really wanna have 3.5 millimeter jack, go ahead, plug it in your dongle, you're good to go. I am wireless all day, every day. You like wireless charging, but not wireless headphones, go figure. The micro SD card. Well, this one's kind of interesting because it really depends on who you are. So they only removed it out of the Note 10 and not the Note 10 Plus. So let's talk about the Note 10, which again, they've compromised way too many things on that thing for $950. I mean, geez, like Sony for $950 put like a 4K screen on or something. It's crazy out there. And no SD card just doesn't do anything. I don't care. Like 256 gig on your phone is great. What are you putting on a SD card? What are you putting on an SD card that can't fit in 256 gigs? And if you're shooting a whole bunch of 4K video, you know you ain't watching the stuff you recorded 18 months ago, and you know you've already uploaded it somewhere else where you can watch it, and maybe you can't watch it in 4K, but you weren't watching it in 4K anyway on your phone. Do some file management. 256 gigs is plenty of storage. Y'all out there, savagery. Out there putting every single piece of garbage that you can on your phone and then want to put it on an SD card too, loading up movies and games and other stuff. Forget about it. Some of y'all out here have lost your mind. And yeah, that's probably going away too at some point. So again, get used to cloud storage and storage on your phone. SD cards might be catching a hike ski here soon as well. And lack of innovation. Well, I'm unsure if I actually agree with this. There was a lot of software innovation, which is what I said weeks ago. I said the hardware we already know about, and the things that are gonna be interesting about this phone are all gonna be software. And in that way, I think they came up with some pretty cool things. Of course, I talked about the Microsoft deal, which I think is huge. You can check out that video, I already talked about that. I think that's a great thing. I think making more things within the operating system, something you don't have to download an app for, like editing videos, which I'm super excited about. The live focus, where you can kind of do the blurry background on videos and stuff. I think all this stuff is pretty cool. You can get on another phone, sure, yeah, I get you, but they put it on the Note. I don't see why this is a problem. Now, anybody who's been on this channel for any length of time knows I fight for the budget-minded. There are tons of great budget-minded phones out there that can do even some more things that the Note can't do. There's some great options out there. I've talked about them time and time again. I'm not here trying to sell Samsung phones. They don't pay me nothing. But to talk about the Note as some type of big disappointment, to me is just wrong. We knew what it was before the announcement came out. The only thing we found out was that there's some pretty cool software features. Now, if that's not impressive to you, that's fine. But for some people to act like this is the worst Note ever, so yeah, I'm still gonna get it, still gonna review it. I don't know if it's gonna replace my OnePlus 7 as my everyday phone. We'll find out once I get it. But man, it just seems weird out here. Like, how am I the one defending Samsung? I feel like I never do that. I always give them a hard time. But now I'm out here defending the Note. Listen, I don't think most of you should get it. I already said that in another video as well. It's probably too expensive for what you get. Having said that, it's still gonna be a good phone. It's still gonna have a great experience. It's gonna be pretty darn cool. I'm actually looking forward to it. But tell me in the comments below, what do you think? I know you may not be getting it, but what could they have done to make you want it? Tell me in the comments below, I would love to hear it. If this video helped you out in any way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if it didn't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm here every single week, having a blast. Hope to see you again real soon. Peace and love, peace and love. Time to get to the comments.